the hydro, the ocean.
The ocean and all. So yeah, as you said, maybe it's just a matter of time before our countries also embrace that revolution. Okay, so now when we talk about waste management, okay, so let's just imagine a waste management that excludes use of plastic, but includes also, let's say, an absence of sea debris. Because what we have seen is, most often than not, Western countries bring their ships or bring their debris and then just dump it in our seas with the complicity of our governments and all. So a waste management approach that excludes the plastic use, includes, let's say, the debris management for the sea, and a coastal cleanup. That is, because as you said, after sea level, what you see is something that is super discouraging. So for that to happen, is it only the government that needs to lead that innovation culture, or do we also need to include the population? How do we really arrive at that?
It's everyone's business. Environment issues, everyone's business. It's not only government. You know, the issue is when you mention developed countries dumping some waste or debris to developing countries. You know, the international politics of that is kind of like mind-blowing. You know, but you know, the last time we heard about, I don't know, maybe countries like Lebanon or something, like shipping some waste, you know, to our country. Maybe it's as a result of our economic status that we say, okay, there is money attached for this waste to be shipped. So because of that, governments or other people may tend to accept. But I believe it is not only in the, we should not only leave it in the hands of governments. We the people have a role to play, you know, and this public-private partnership (PPP) must come in, because some of these projects are capital intensive, and government having so many other things to do, they cannot just focus in one sector. But believe me, if they have private partnership with some other people, I believe there will be more innovation, and the quality, of course, will be ensured. And as a result, they will be able to achieve the objective that they want to achieve.
Like 100%. Great. Okay. So again, one of my projections. When we let's say envision a zero waste lifestyle, like populations that have a zero waste lifestyle, wherein they just think of transforming waste into energy, upcycling, recycling, or even using products that are reusable, but stopping plastic like 100%. When we have that vision, do you see Africa somewhere in that picture?
I think I mentioned something in regards to that earlier when I said the more we grow, the more waste that we tend to use. And being that we are trying to develop, we're trying to create an environment that will be recognized and appreciated worldwide. Africa should look into going into the zero waste idea. Like using our resources, making sure that we make use of our waste and get into the upcycling, get into the recycling ideology, create environments that are sustainable, using the energy, make use of the sun, the ocean, the wind. Try to see how we can push whatever it is that will techniques and devices that will support our environment.
Yeah. The reason why I'm asking how is because of the status quo. Whenever you take a taxi, for example, and you see those people throwing the plastic bag of water, and you tell them not to throw, the type of answer you receive, as if you are like living on a different planet and stuff. That's the reason why I'm asking how, because we need to know also how to get to that.
There has to be regulations. There has to be rules that should prevent people from penalties. That prevents people from doing such habits. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
that reminds me, in addendum to what you just said, was it last week or so, I was traveling to Kenya, and the vehicle that I used, you know, this guy was drinking this apple cider. Yeah, so after drinking, it was about throwing the stuff out. So I told him, saying, if you throw that apple cider can out, who do you expect to go and pick the stuff? You know, it was just saying, Nasalum Day, nobody don't care, you know, those kind of stuff. This, we say, Nasalum Day, you know, that mentality. So it's kind of like affecting us, even those of us that claim to be educated. So I believe, but you can imagine if there are stiff penalties saying that if you do something like this, there's a likely penalty. If they do it to one or two people, believe in me, or people or person, believe in me, that will strictly shift to another level. You know, talking about waste management in Africa, before putting in for those machines, I'm not a mechanical engineer, so I don't know anything about machines. I contacted some of my friends in Uganda, and they're having a waste management company that is 100% automated to recycle plastic waste into tile, and even making roof tiles, these roof tiles from plastic. So they told me about the opportunities in waste management, and they sent me some links that's kind of like reading and getting more knowledge in the space. And also, I know some folks in Ghana, Tanzania, that they're just doing it in their own little way, not government. These people, they're young people between the age of 20 to 30. Yeah? So it's not like they are waiting for their own government before they start solving problems. So I believe young people in this room, when we leave after this program, the one question that you should ask yourself is, apart of my degree, or if you are pursuing a degree, what else can I offer society? Because having a PhD, it's not a big deal anymore. You will agree with me. So it's what can you offer society that matters. It's not a matter of your qualification or whatsoever. You know, Sierra Leone, we have this culture that, like, immediately after your first degree, the next thing that you want to work on a job. And if we continue to have that notion, the creativity, the innovation of the young people will go down. You know, so we should change that mentality that, like, the job that somebody that is not educated is doing, if I go and do it, they will say that I'm not to task. You understand? So we should change that notion, be more innovative, and solve environmental problems that we don't have to wait for government, but we should take ownership.
I do like that, because it's somehow related to being of service to your own communities and giving back to the community that has given so much to you for you to be able to have those degrees and those qualifications. But then, as he said, always aspiring for white-collar jobs, while there are so many difficulties that your own communities have, but you don't. You, as an intellectual, as somebody who has been exposed to certain ideas, don't contribute into solving. Okay, so that being said, I would like us to please, you both, to please share with us the challenges that you have along the way in your journey as entrepreneurs. So what are the challenges, what are the success stories that you can share with young people so that they can, in turn, be prepared when it comes to their own entrepreneurial journeys? Any success stories about
like, yeah, you know, I've faced a lot of challenges because I've started so many businesses. You know, so many businesses at a very early age. Even my studies outside, while I was studying there, I was also doing business, you know, that field. It's difficult, you know, working with people that don't share the same vision with you. You know, that's a serious challenge that startup entrepreneurs face in this part of the world. You know, I remember when we were about putting in for these machines, I met with one man who is also operating in the space. to my knowledge, I believe he has the experience. I just said, okay, can you please help me to maybe identify for me companies in China that are producing this specific machine that I want? And he said he can't do it because of he's doing the same business. If I don't get those machines, then I'll compete. I'll be a competitor.
Yeah.
So as a result, he told me that his own IP. If I can still do it. I said IP, but that's just information. It's not like it's something that you produce that you are the first to produce. I just need an information saying, can I know who is producing this? And the man did not. Until when I went to YouTube, my network with other Africans that led me to go out. So one of the major reasons, one of the major challenges that I faced was getting people, working with the right people. It's very, very difficult. And another challenge, of course, this is something that entrepreneurs shy away from, but it's funding. It's a serious problem because I believe all of us in this room, we have fantastic ideas. But how to start?
Yeah.
You may say the major challenge is for me to get money. So we are not that kind of country that have financial structures that you can easily go to a bank with friendly conditions, go and take money there and start a business. We have, if you go to a bank and you want to borrow money, a part of the collateral security, the interest rate will kill you. Yeah. So as a startup entrepreneur, you can't face those guys. You understand? So if governments really want to step into this, it is for us to create some designated financial institutions that their primary focus is to empower SMEs. And also having this concentrated sector, saying, okay, if you're operating in the agriculture space or waste management, you have some certain benefits. Maybe like getting access to funds without interest rates, or getting access to machines, or getting advice, expert advice on whatsoever this incubation stuff. So I believe those are some of the challenges, and also infrastructure. Like, for example, we are facing serious issue in terms of internet. Internet is still expensive. Also, electricity, it's kind of like limited. Water, road. So all of those things compounded, they are all challenges. Yeah. But the good thing is now the success story I'm talking about.
No, but then when it comes to your challenge that is related to finding funding, you being a professor in the field of funding to SMEs and stuff, what do you advise those young people for them to counter the problem of funding when in relation to the financial institutions?
Before I come to your question, let me just say this. In entrepreneurship, what we call the safety net. The safety net is wherein even if you start a business, you fail, you face a challenge, you still have somewhere to source for funds. You understand? To step up back. So with that, you'll be able to gain experience and succeed. But the issue is for governments to put structures in place. We, the entrepreneurs, also must change our mindset. Our mindset towards doing business. We cannot just say, if you start a business, immediately you want to get profit. We all know the story of Coke, that in their first year, they did not even sell one Coke bottle. So it's very important for us to change that mindset, saying, okay, my focus is not to make money, but my focus is to solve a problem. With that, if you go with that mindset, believe in me, the reward will be money. I don't know if I answered.
I get what you mean. So it's more of solving a problem.
Yeah, more of solving a problem than
of
the primary focus of money. Yeah.
Success story.
Yeah. So the success story is this our waste connect. That now we have access to $25,000 grants, and we have our MVP already, minimum value products. And we currently work with 8 young people. Matter of fact, we have put in for the machines as well, as I've stated earlier. And if those machines don't count, then our production process will be 100% automated, and we'll be the first in Sierra Leone to do that. So it's mind blowing for me as a young person, below 30, doing that and still pursuing my PhD. You know, so it's no matter of your education, except if I tell you that I'm pursuing my PhD, but you not believe that. So it's a matter of you impacting lives as well. Because I remember one of the guy working for us explaining his story to me, saying that even for him to get 10,000 euros per day, it's something very, very difficult for him. But with this job having at least 20,000 euros per day, he is able to feed himself and his family. To me, that's a success story. Yeah, because it's all, what is important is about you, one life impacting another life.
Yeah, so it's very inspirational when you talk about you pursuing your dream, creating jobs, but at the same time continuing to pursue knowledge and qualification, which is super great and which really requires a very warm applause for this young person who's achieving so much. Okay, so what can we know what were the challenges and success stories while you were creating Tina Queen?
Being an entrepreneur, you face a lot of challenges because you take risks. And one of my major challenges has been that I'm a student, and sometimes having to meet the demands of your clients and also meeting the demands of your lecturers of school, especially with the fact that I'm in a very demanding field of study, has been quite a very hectic one for me, and it kind of slows the pace at which you would want to do things like, for example, train youth, go and advocate of sustainable environment and all of that. And also the issue of finance, like you mentioned, because you need to get equipment, you need to get tools, and yeah, so those things have really been challenging. Team building, finding the right people to work with can be stressful and difficult. I've cried. I've had to wake up at 5 to go get something done for a client, just to do it repeatedly, and then you don't have that finance, but you have to just put into the passion. That's why it's good to always do something that you are very, very, very passionate about. And my success story is the fact that I'm doing something that I love, which is linked to my field of study, designing at all costs. That was what actually brought me to the environment aspect of things. I just needed to design at all costs. So I was like, you know what, even if I don't have the money to get that beautiful furniture, I'll use this waste and create furniture out of it. So yes, so that was how I got into now getting discarded items to create. And the recognition that I also have received this year has really encouraged me to keep doing what I'm doing.
Great, thank you so much, and that also is another one. I'm really very excited to have two very vibrant young entrepreneurs. I believe you were the youngest ones we ever had on the Ignition Hour, and that's so refreshing, you know, because of course a 40 years old can figure it out. But you guys who are less than 30 and who are doing these great things out of passion and out of dedication, this is something that humbles me so much, but also that excites me so much. So that being said, I would like the audience to have the opportunity to ask some questions to these great entrepreneurs. And Regina, the floor is yours.
My question will go to Mr. Salah. You said well, you spoke on things that are inspiring, but you said something that a little bit confusing. So I want to learn or get a little bit of advice. How can you work on it? You said there will come a time when your BSc will not work well for you, but you're a businessman and entrepreneur, and you also pursue your goal through education. You are still pursuing that area. Then you say that there will come a time where your certificate will grant you nothing, but still you are pursuing it. Then another thing is that you say, as an entrepreneur, you should always be non-profit. You know that entrepreneur, they are business-oriented people. Then how can they also be non-profit? So I want to learn from you, sir.
My question goes to both of them. I want to know what ways do you think you can change the mindset of Sudanese about waste management, apart from the laws that we set up? And also the second question I want to ask, do you think plastic is the always affecting us in Sierra? Do you think plastic is the always affecting us in Sierra? I want answers from this man. And the next question.
I want to know what is the provision for those who are taking this plastic to work. If there's any medical facility for them, or pay them monthly or weekly.
Thank you very much for those wonderful questions. The issue of your BSc not being valuable, you know, it's not like I'm saying it in a derogatory manner. I'm saying it in a way that to ignite that spirit, for you not just to depend on white collar jobs. Yeah? Like, it's good to have a bachelor's degree. Fantastic. Yeah? But you should not be limited of you securing a white collar job because of just that BSc degree. You know, some days ago, I remember I told some of my friends saying that too much of education is not good for an entrepreneur. And they were like, come on, what do you mean? I don't understand you. They started saying some stuff. But then I explained to them, saying that our school system, the methodology in our school system, limits our creativity. Our educational system is so updated in such a way that we are not using 21st century method to solve 21st century problems. We are using 20th century method to solve 21st century problems. So you see that there is a mismatch already. So as a young person, good, you pursue your degree, but at the same time, have a niche. Have a value proposition, your own personal value proposition, what you sell to people. And the more you have something to sell, the more you become valuable and people go in more for you. So I don't know if that answers your question.
Now, I just would like to add an example to what he just said. He said it all right. But then the stuff is, you pursuing your PhD would not hinder you from making backpacks made of African material and selling it. Okay, but the way we are wired in is we always, while we are going to school, we always ask money from our parents. You know what I mean? Because we always have been wired like that. But then pursuing that dream of being very qualified doesn't hinder you from maybe making beads, okay, making clothing and stuff and selling, okay, so that your own classmates maybe, or even selling perfume. Your own classmates who need perfume will buy it from you. But you were building up as an entrepreneur, and also you learning how to do sales at the same time as you pursuing your dreams. Yeah.
Yeah. In addendum to that, like I came from a very poor family, so the issue of me pursuing higher degree is because of not like I want to say it for any other reason, but I'm saying it with absolute humility. It's because of my dad once said like he wants someone in our family to be called doctor. So I'm not doing it for my own self, I'm doing it for my family. If that answers your question when you ask relating to that PhD. So you said entrepreneurs, they are just non-profit. No, maybe you did not hear me clearly. I did not say that. I said like entrepreneurship, you should not follow the money. You should try to solve a problem. When you solve a problem, money will follow. But of course, there is an aspect of entrepreneurship called social entrepreneurship. Basically, it is not about making money. It's about impacting lives and solving community problems. Yeah.
And it's all the more beautiful when you solve a problem and get money and employ people. So you solve the problem of unemployability, solve the problem of waste being in your community because you're transforming it into pavements or whatever, but then you're getting money on top of all that, which is super nice.
Yeah, I think the other question is for the two of us.
Yeah, the one that said, do you think plastic is the only waste?
Yeah.
No. For example, we deal with all sorts of waste, from tires to to draft woods, to old furnitures, things that would otherwise be sent to landfill. But we try to reduce the amount of waste that is being sent to landfill so that we can be able to transform the ideology of, it's not just plastic, it's so many things. A lot of people could consider paper as waste, and wood. Sometimes you go by the beach and you see tree logs or wood, on tires coming out from the ocean. So all those things affect Sierra Leone. So not just plastic.
Yeah, but then there is something that is called biodegradable.
Yeah.
So the thing that is less biodegradable is what harms the environment the most. So when you throw paper, then maybe the paper will just be dissolved by the water. But then when you throw plastic, you're sure that the children are going to find it where you just placed it. So there is a difference in throwing one thing. Seeds, for example, you just eat something, you spit it out. You know it's going to become a tree. But then when you throw your tires or stuff, then of course you know that you are damaging the environment.
Absolutely, and in addendum to that, we also have the liquid waste. You know, like this, our maybe what we use in the restroom. You know, the flush. You know, those are liquid waste. You know, in other parts of the world, you see people turning that into methane gas. You know, so there are lots and lots of waste particles, not just this plastic. Yeah. So somebody asked a question talking about the mindset of Sierra Leoneans towards waste management.
Yeah.
You know, maybe can you want to say something?
I think we mentioned something concerning advocacy and campaign. Because you asked them how we can change, how it can be changed, right? That's the question. So advocacy campaigns, educating the youths, educating the people on how they can contribute to creating an eco-friendly environment.
So then the other question, somebody was, okay, this one I think is directly for me, talking about the provision that are made for plastic collectors. Well, we buy 1,000 units per kilogram of plastic. Yeah. So maybe at Kinton, because they have a designated place for this plastic waste. And you can just go there, then they will weigh your plastic, pay the money, then they keep it. Then for us now, we can go there, for example, or we go to any other person that is collecting plastic in large quantity. So with that, we buy the bag. You know, they have these big, large bags. You know, so after buying them, then we will have to pay for transportation. But in terms of medical or insurance or whatever, no, we don't do that. We just go and buy the plastic, then we pay for the transportation.
And then you buy 100 kilograms per day.
Absolutely.
Which is a big amount of money for the person who's selling. Yeah. Cool. Okay, so that was it for today. We would have loved to take more questions because I'm sure you guys are very passionate about our environment and the ways in which we can sustain it. But because of time, we have to just stop it here, and hopefully everybody in this room is going to take action regarding what was shared today. And we are going to save this environment, this earth that is so generous to us and that has given us so much. So that being said, I would like to thank you so much and to give you another rendezvous coming months for another exciting sort of thing. Thank you so much.